walk away. That was my first and last mistake. I'm blue without your face. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a pair of lips that I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm cold
in the front, and at that point, Russia can just step in and grab whatever they want, and turn Ukraine into a rump state. Currently, it looks like to outside observers that looks like the front line hasn't changed that much. But it's not about land, war. Mao have said this before. If you can lose land and preserve your people, the land can be regained. But on the other hand, if you lose people but hold on to the land, eventually you will lose both. You will lose both the people and the land. And right now, that's what Ukrainian is doing. They're on the path to lose both people and the land. And this is why Russia is not in a hurry to enter any kind of a peace settlement with the NATO unless it's to their satisfaction.
When I was thinking about the situation, do you believe, and I believe, that Russia will take Odessa? I've been saying it, and then I had Larry Johnson say the same thing. But now, because I've asked this question also, do you think that they would take Kiev? Because remember, Russia said that they wanted all of the former Russian territories back. And remember, Kiev at one time was the capital of Russia, and it was Russian territory. So, and I saw today or yesterday that Klitschko ordered a voluntary evacuation for all citizens who could of Moscow, of Kiev, to leave. Do you think this is in preparation for something that he sees coming?
Well, I think right now the Russia's top priority is still grinding down Ukrainian forces at the front. I mean, but once the Ukraine run out of men, Russia can do whatever they want. I mean, they can take Odessa, they can take Kiev, they can just they will stop whenever they decide to stop, because there will be no men there to stop them. But right now, their focus has been what they have always focused on, which is to steadily grinding down Ukrainian forces, and eventually Ukraine will run out of men. I mean, it's only a matter of time.
And we see all of the rich resource areas in the industries now under Russian control, which is quickly making Ukraine an unviable and untenable state. And if Russia seizes the coastline, then what we will be left with is a balkanized Ukraine that has no real economic value or utility, and it will become a welfare state for the United States and Russia. Do you think that may be an incentive for the EU and the US to start talking behind closed doors before this takes place?
I don't think that either EU or United States really care about what eventually happened to Ukraine. I mean, the Ukrainians are just their pawns in this proxy war against Russia. Their main usage is to be thrown as a cannon fodder against the Russians, to bleed the Russians. So I don't think they necessarily care what will happen to Ukraine. I mean, most likely Ukraine will, like you say, will turn into a rump state like Kosovo. It's kind of backed up by NATO, but it really has no economic future. It's not sustainable on its own. It depends on the largesse of the European Union, and I think that's Ukraine's future right now. If they're unable to come to some kind of meaningful peace term with Russia.
I see someone in the chat says God the Father bless the United States and bless Donald Trump. How can I ask this from just a onward perspective, onlooker instead of a host? How can you ask God to bless someone that is continually violating international norms and also exploiting international law and people? What would you say, Carl?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about ironically. I mean, Trump is essentially destroying. Trump is a destroyer of empire, right? Like, what Trump reminds me of is like the time when the empire of Lydia went to war against the Persians, and the king of Lydia went to Athens to ask the oracle of Delphi, like, what is my chances of this incoming battle? And the oracle told him, like, you will destroy a great empire. And he was so happy. He thought he give the oracle a lot of gift, and then he went back. He went to war against the Persians, and he was crushed. And the Persians swallow up his empire. So Trump is a great destroyer of empire at the moment, but the empire he's destroying is the United States. So yeah, in that way. So I'm assuming the guy was talking ironically. Bless Trump. He's doing a good job you're doing.
Well, on that note, Carl, man, I want to thank you for joining me. I know you got some things to do. We're going to hook up shortly. And please don't forget me. And you know, when I sent you the little message, please don't forget me on that one. Everybody listen, I want to thank Carl. As always, Carl hits it out the park every single time he's on the platform. As he often says, Carl, you say, we're going to be here, we're going to laugh about it, and we're going to talk about it. What do you have to say before we go off the air?
That's what we will be doing for a long time. You know, we're going to be here throughout the long imperial decline of the United States, and I will enjoy it, and I will laugh it with you every step of the way.
All right, my friend, be safe and be blessed, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Everybody, I want to thank you for giving me your time, because time is the most precious commodity, because it's an unrenewable asset. So I hope the time that you spent with me was worth it, and you got an equal or greater payoff for spending this hour and a half with us, okay? On that note, I want to say to you all, do right by others, not because there's some material gain or some accolades to be had, but do right by others because it's the right, the humane, and the godly thing to do. Because even when no one else is watching you, remember that God Almighty is watching you. As my late, great, and beautiful and wonderful mother would always say, God sits high on the throne, but he looks low on the actions of man. Know that I love each and every one of you who loves truth, freedom, justice, and equality, but know that the love that I have for you will always pale in comparison to the love that God has for you. Until we next speak again, stay strong, stay true, but above all things, remember this one thing, to stay righteous. Hey, mama, your baby boy loves you more than life. Deuces, everybody.
Told you to walk away. That was my first and last mistake. I blew without your face. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a pair of lips that I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm